This story's not getting enough attention. Let's talk about how some of the biggest media companies in the world are basically laundering legalized bribes to Donald Trump. Over the past month, there's been an alarming trend of major media companies settling bogus defamation lawsuits with Donald Trump. In December, Disney, the parent company of ABC, paid Trump $15 million to settle a lawsuit Trump launched focused on comments that ABC anchor George Stephanopoulos made during a live interview. While Stephanopoulos did misspeak, the First Amendment protects criticism against public figures, and legal experts say that Trump likely would have lost this case if it had gone to trial. Just last week, Meta agreed to a $25 million settlement with Trump, connected to his suspension from Facebook in 2021. But last year, the Supreme Court ruled that social media companies' content moderation policies are constitutionally protected. As the New York Times writes, Mr. Trump had virtually no chance of prevailing in this case, and it appears that Meta just wanted to pay off Mr. Trump. There's also reporting that Elon Musk and X are also in talks with Trump in a similar case. Just a couple months ago, Elon's lawyers were in court arguing that Trump's lawsuit lacked merit. Then there's Paramount, the parent company of CBS, which is currently in talks with Trump to settle his $10 billion defamation suit. Trump claimed in the suit that CBS deceptively edited an interview with Kamala Harris. But as somebody who's coordinated countless interviews just like this one, I can say confidently that this is a very normal practice. And according to the New York Times, the suit had, quote, essentially no chance of succeeding. But Paramount isn't worried about losing this case. At the same time that they're in talks with Trump over a settlement, they're attempting to merge with Skydance Media, a merger that is subject to approval by Trump's FCC. Skydance was founded by the billionaire Ellison family. Here's Larry Ellison at the White House the day after Inauguration Day. Let's be very clear. These are not just settlements. These are legalized backdoor bribes, funneling tens of millions of dollars into Trump's pockets and diminishing the media's duty to hold Trump to account. These media companies are rolling over and capitulating to Trump to gain his favor. And when the free press decides that access and influence are more important than the truth, we all lose.
Recently, Donald Trump made headlines with his controversial remarks about taking control of Gaza and relocating its people, who have endured immense suffering due to the conflict.
Any further deliberations on Gaza, sir? The timetable for a takeover?
No deliberations. It's been very well received, where basically the United States would view it as a real estate transaction where we'll be an investor in that part of the world. And no rush to do anything. We wouldn't need anybody there. It would be supplied and given to us by Israel. They'll watch it in terms of security. We're not talking about boots in the ground or anything, but I think the fact that we're there, that we have an investment there, I think would go a long way to creating peace.
The past 2 weeks have been a period of profound awakening for many MAGA supporters. As the veil lifts, they are beginning to see the true nature of the man they once rallied behind to lead the nation.
Every single time that I think that surely we have reached the depths of Donald Trump's depravity, he somehow finds a way to prove me wrong and go even lower. Yesterday, it was revealed that Donald Trump evicted the highest ranking woman in the US military from her home in base housing with 3 hours notice. A woman who has dedicated 40 years of her life, her entire adulthood has been dedicated to serving our country. And in exchange for that 40 years of service, the commander-in-chief told her, you get 3 hours until you are homeless. And this all comes on the heels of 2 weeks ago, Donald Trump fired this same woman, Admiral Linda Fagan, from her role as Commandant of the US Coast Guard, the first woman to ever serve as Commandant of any US military branch, by the way.
In the short time since taking office, his actions have reverberated across the country, and indeed, the world, leaving many in disbelief.
In more absolutely ridiculous news coming out of the US, Donald Trump has said he is going to sign an executive order to create a task force to help eradicate anti-Christian bias in the United States. Let that sink in for a second. There is supposed to be a separation of church and state. And the President of the United States wants to sign an order to make sure that there is no anti-Christian rhetoric going on. Do you see what's happening here? Please leave a comment if you do.
Donald Trump, who once captivated millions with his promise to make America great again, now appears to be steering the nation in a direction that starkly contrasts with the vision he so passionately sold. The shockwaves of his decisions have sparked intense debate, forcing even his most ardent supporters to question whether the America he's building aligns with the one they believed in.
Voted for Trump because he promised while he was campaigning like a million times that when he got into office he was going to bring down prices, bring down grocery prices. The inflation has been high ever since COVID, and he promised he would bring that down, but it's obvious to me now that that was not true. Egg prices have skyrocketed. The bird flu is killing all the birds, and he doesn't seem to be doing anything about that. He's stopping disease communications from the disease centers in America, pulled us out of the WHO. Like, how does that help anything? And yeah, all he's been doing is taking away rights and freedoms, or trying to. He's not doing anything about the economy. So yeah, we totally regret our vote at this point. We've had a really tough time here in North Carolina. Half of my house got washed away in Hurricane Helene, and I applied for FEMA assistance and we got approved. But now Trump is canceling FEMA and emergency assistance to people. He's also canceled Medicaid for my children. I know they said they put a halt on his freezing of the funds, but the Medicaid portal is still not working, so we can't access anything for our children's health insurance.
His statements have sparked outrage not only among Americans, but also across the global community, particularly among Arab populations who felt deeply hurt and betrayed by his words. Many Arab Americans had previously voted for Trump in the last election as a form of protest against the Democrats.
I think that the Democratic Party should be punished for supporting this genocide, and I know that a lot of people will vote for Trump because they want to punish the Democratic Party because, you know, especially in Dearborn voted Democrat the last election, and it's been a disappointment to the people. The Democrats did nothing but let down the Arab American and Muslim American population.
However, Trump's latest comments have only exacerbated the situation, leaving many of his former supporters disillusioned. Instead of addressing the crisis with empathy and solutions, his rhetoric has further alienated those who had hoped for a change in leadership. This has led to a growing sense of frustration and disappointment, as the man they once turned to for accountability now appears to be making matters worse.
Netanyahu gave Trump a gift. It's as bad as you think it is. CNN has obtained a picture of said gift from Bibi to Trump. Here's a close-up. It says, "To President Donald J. Trump, our greatest friend and greatest ally, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu." It's a stump of wood with a pager that says, "Press with both hands." This is the pager closer. Yes, it is a reference to exactly what you think it is. Yes, they probably did laugh, despite the fact that thousands of civilians were injured and who knows how many were harmed seriously and unalived. I don't even have the words for how depraved and fucked up this is. Am I surprised? Not at fucking all, especially given what Trump said when they pulled off the pager thing. Not surprised, just disgusted. One can only hope. You know, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say the thing I want to say because I can't, probably.
What does this moment reveal about the power of accountability and leadership? In a world where words and actions carry immense weight, the choices made by those in power can either heal or deepen divides. As we witness the fallout from controversial decisions and statements, it's a stark reminder that leadership is not just about promises. It's about responsibility, empathy, and the courage to prioritize people over politics. This is a pivotal moment for all of us. It's not enough to simply watch from the sidelines. We must actively engage, question, and hold leaders accountable for their actions. The future of our communities, our nations, and our world depends on the collective voice of those who refuse to accept complacency. Let's challenge ourselves to stay informed, to listen to diverse perspectives, and to demand leadership that truly serves the greater good. The road ahead may be uncertain, but one thing is clear. The power to shape tomorrow lies in the choices we make today.
Voted for Trump because he promised while he was campaigning like a million times that when he got into office he was going to bring down prices, bring down grocery prices. The inflation has been high ever since COVID, and he promised he would bring that down, but it's obvious to me now that that was not true. Egg prices have skyrocketed. The bird flu is killing all the birds, and he doesn't seem to be doing anything about that. He's stopping disease communications from the disease centers in America, pulled us out of the WHO. Like, how does that help anything? And yeah, all he's been doing is taking away rights and freedoms, or trying to. He's not doing anything about the economy. So yeah, we totally regret our vote at this point. We've had a really tough time here in North Carolina. Half of my house got washed away in Hurricane Helene, and I applied for FEMA assistance and we got approved. But now Trump is canceling FEMA and emergency assistance to people. He's also canceled Medicaid for my children. I know they said they put a halt on his freezing of the funds, but the Medicaid portal is still not working, so we can't access